morning, I'm Max Jacobson, and I'm at Ping Pang Pong restaurant at the Gold Coast Casino in beautiful Las Vegas with an even more beautiful thing, Karrie Wu, the owner. I'm not sure whether I love Karrie more or her food, but it's close.
Thank you.
She knows I love her food. And today we're going to talk about the specialty of Ping Pang Pong, which is dim sum, which are basically snacks that are eaten with pastry. In fact, this young lady is putting a little sauce on a shrimp rice ball called Sun Chu Ha Yun in Cantonese. And what does that mean exactly in English?
It's a pearl shrimp ball.
Pearl shrimp ball. And this is kind of a special dim sum, actually. I've never tasted it. I'm about to. Let me just tell you a couple of things. First of all, we have an absurd amount of food on the table. This is enough to feed a Chinese army, but she wants you to see all the good things she has. So what we're going to do is describe a few of them in part one, and then we're going to describe the rest of them in part two. I also want to tell you about the sauces. This is chili sauce, la chiu jiang in Cantonese, red chili sauce.
Yes.
This is XO sauce, which is made from dried scallops and other goodies.
Yes.
And this is soy sauce. And so the idea is that you take your chopsticks, you take one of these dim sum, put it on the plate, and eat it. This already has a sauce on it. So bite into one. Are you going to eat one, Karrie?
Sure.
All right. I love it. Now you take a little sip of tea. Now the idea behind these Chinese tea parlors is that you have a lot of tea and a little of the snacks. Chinese people eat very slowly. They come here to socialize. They don't come here to eat 9 dishes all at once like we do. That's the way we eat dim sum. They'll order a dish, they'll have some tea, half an hour will pass, they'll order another dish.
Exactly.
Isn't that right?
They bring the newspaper, the show.
And then, you know, the round eyes like me stand outside and wait for the tables, which don't open up. But not here in Vegas. And now here we have something really special. This is something called Gun Tong Gao, half soup dumpling. And it's basically a shark fin dumpling in a broth. And this is eaten with vinegar, red vinegar. And ginger. So the idea is to take a little of the ginger and
put it in the soup.
Just put it right in there. Now, at the same time, when you're out of tea or you want more tea, you go like this. You tap your index finger on the table and you get a little more tea. Now, one more thing I wanted to add about dim sum. The Cantonese don't call it dim sum, even though that means touch the heart. They call it yum cha, drink tea.
Drink tea.
So now what should we eat first, Karrie, after the pearl shrimp ball?
You can start with anything. It doesn't have really a particular orders. You can eat whatever you want. This is that's great. Chicken feet is one of our popular item among Chinese.
This is called phoenix claw, if you translate the English, very poetic, feng jiao. And a lot of people think it's kind of weird, but I love it. And you taste the chicken skin, you taste the star anise. When you
little bit spicy, a little bit of the kick
eat it like this. And now I'm going to try a little of this dumpling. You break open the dumpling and it spills into the soup. And then you get this rich soup. Very few dim sum places in the United States outside San Francisco and Los Angeles serve this. Very hard to find even in New York. This is, needless to say, the best and most authentic and also most extensive selection of dim sum in Las Vegas. So Karrie, you're not eating.
I am.
So Karrie, when did you start this restaurant?
We opened this restaurant in 2001, 3 months after 9/11. But we've been very fortunate. We have a lot of repeating guests, and we been here 9 years.
Don't you have another restaurant across the hall?
Yes, we do. About 100 steps away. It's called Noodle Exchange. We serve different kind of food, and the hot pot is really, really popular right now.
The hot pot, but you don't serve dim sum over there.
No, no dim sum.
You serve a lot of noodle dishes.
Noodle dishes, yeah.
Now I want to sample one of my favorites. It's one of the heavier snacks. It's sticky rice with chicken and sausage wrapped up in a lotus leaf called lo mai kai. So I am unwrapping it with the chopsticks.
Don't eat the leaf.
No, you don't eat the leaf. As a lover of Chinese food, I learned early on that I had to be not only deft, but very fast with my chopsticks. Otherwise, everything gets eaten before you get to it.
Like unwrapping a present.
So yes, so here's this rice dumpling, and inside, Karrie probably won't eat any of this, it's too heavy. Or do you want some? Yeah, let me, here.
Here.
A little more?
I'm good.
And so, I like to eat it with chili, but anyway, this is what it looks like. I'm doing something a little impolite here. I'm putting my chopsticks into the common chili dish because we're friends, but you really wouldn't do that. It's like sticking your fingers into the bin at Whole Foods and grabbing a couple of peanuts. You don't do that. But then I have yet to write my first novel on manners. Incredible. Now this is a very important part of a dim sum meal, Chinese greens. Here we have kailan or Chinese broccoli.
Chinese broccoli.
Come on, eat a piece, Karrie, with a little oyster sauce on it.
Thank you.
That's your plate. And then I'll take some onto my plate. Now, we have many, many dim sum on the table, and we're going to describe some of the other ones in part 2 of this. But before we get to that, I wanted to tell you that we don't have a couple of the most common ones. I noticed they brought the hagao shrimp dumpling. Can you hold that up? This is a very common one. And I think on the end there we have the char siu bao, the fluffy pork bun. But I don't see any siu mai, the pork dumpling, unless, are they on here too?
Scallop siu mai.
Well, this one has scallops in it instead of the normal fluffy chopped pork filling. I'm going to try these greens. They're tremendous. Now the chef has prepared some special dim sum that aren't normally on the menu, and we're going to talk about them, and we're going to talk about Chinese tea when we come back in part 2.